Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. I'm Bob Nardone. I'm the current chair of the Economic Development Advisory Committee for Hanover. Welcome. I want to welcome you on behalf of our EDAC members and our township officials that are here today. Thanks much for taking the time out of your schedules and coming here. Our original intent was for a roundtable discussion, but we had too many people to set up the room as a roundtable. So it doesn't mean we're formal here. Informal, we'd like to hear from you. Q&A, feedback, we'll have plenty of time to do that. And also, it's an opportunity for you to meet and talk to people, both officials and counterparts in the industry. There's a few people in the room, I want to introduce them so that if you want to grab them and talk to them later on, you know they're here. We have Matthew Abraham. He's from the state. He's going to be making a presentation. Senior Business Development Officer for the New Jersey Economic Development Authority. Paul Boudreau, I think, is here someplace from Morris County, President of Morris County Chamber of Commerce. And I know I saw Rebecca Feldman, who's the Executive Director of the Morris County Economic Development. Yeah, stand up there. I don't see Dr. Overton here yet. Okay. Then from the Township, we have Mayor Ron Francioli in the back. He's going to be giving us a little bit of a talk. We have John Faramasca from the Township Committee as well. He's also our Director of Planning, and he's our EDAC liaison. I saw Bob Bruno someplace, didn't I? Bob from the Township Committee, and I saw George Coppola someplace. George from the Township Committee. Giorgio, our Township Clerk, the Business Administrator, he's around someplace, so if you want to talk to him. What's that? He's outside? Okay, when he walks in. Jerry Macera, our Township Engineer, is here. Sean Donnellan, our Zoning and Building Officer. Mike Wynn from the Sewerage Department, I saw him. And then from our EDAC, I just want to introduce our EDAC members. We got Stan Onlin. Stan, he's our Vice Chair this year. Maria Sheridan couldn't make it this morning. Art Linfanti is here. Art's going to be making a presentation. We have Dan Breen here in the front. Rocco Sino. Rocco's going to do a presentation on our website. And Russ Dobson. I saw Russ Dobson. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I missed anyone. It wasn't intentional. I just didn't see you. So once again, and Kelly Shantz. Kelly's somewhere out. Is Kelly in the room? We'll have to thank her after. Kelly Shantz, our coordinator, did a fantastic job of pulling all this together this morning. So let me just get this up a second here. Okay, so on your seats, there's a packet with information about the town, about the property sites we're going to be talking about, and there's some other information about county resources, etc., as well as an agenda. We have three basic objectives today for this group. One is we want to update you on the efforts that the town is making, both with the Economic Development Committee and the township itself, to make the town more interesting for development, to make it more user-friendly. We want to make sure you see what we're focused on and how we're progressing those activities. We also want to update you today about the statewide programs and services and incentives that are available for the developers and brokers to help progress economic development and stimulate economic development. And then the third piece is we want you to ask questions and provide us with feedback. The theme of today's discussion is help us help you, and that's what it's about. So we're going to be presenting you some materials today. It's not with the intent of being formal, but more with the intent of giving you an idea of what's going on in the community and to elicit some of your feedback about that. There's coffee service in the back. We're filming the meeting, just so you know. I hope that doesn't make anybody camera shy, but the intent is we want to use some of the information from this meeting for our website and to help progress some of the work we're doing in town for encouraging development. So to the agenda, the mayor is going to talk about prospects and opportunities for Hanover. As I mentioned, we have Matthew Abraham here from the Economic Development Authority to talk about programs, resources, incentives, give you some ideas about what you could be doing to progress and stimulate development. Art Lafonte is going to talk about our economic development opportunities. He's going to show you, he's going to go through some of the materials that are in that packet to show you the development and the redevelopment sites. And then Rocco Asano is going to actually go through and show you what the website is, because we're doing some work to improve the website, and we've got some Q&A about the website. We're trying to promote some interest and activity and get people to see what's there and maybe make some additional possible improvements to help market our sites. And then there'll be time for Q&A at the end, and certainly please hang around for any networking and whatnot. We have tons of coffee and stuff in the back. So hopefully, there's an EDAC mission statement, just to have you see that. Just simply stated, our EDAC is about local businessmen, people that live in town, and township officials getting together to help stimulate economic development in our town. And we're committed to doing that, and this is certainly one of those activities. Our priorities for this year are, one, to collaborate and have interactive programs. Thank you. I'm going to trip over that sooner or later. And this is an example of one of those activities. The idea is to let people know what's going on in town, to get your feedback and insight. We want to keep. We want you to have an understanding of what we're doing to identify and develop different properties around the town. We'll update you with our marketing efforts, what segments we're focused on. We got the website. It's a big activity for us. Big focus for us is the key commercial sites, and that's what's in your packet. We're focused on the largest commercial sites to try to encourage redevelopment and development. Along the way, making any master plan or ordinance recommendations to help stimulate growth. So a couple of examples was through EDAC, we brought the insight into the planning board about getting some large retail development along Hanover Avenue as an example, or things that we should change like our tree ordinance to make it more user-friendly for development. We continue to look for obstacles to development, economic or otherwise, and also to encourage speed and efficiency. So we've gotten feedback at meetings like this in the past about how we should do things to improve site plan reviews and to get approvals. We've implemented a lot of things along those lines, and I think we've along the ways to making ourselves more user-friendly. Uh-oh. Excuse me. Uh-oh, sorry. Huh? I didn't want to go to the progress report. And just to give you a feel for, there has been progress over the last year. This is the fourth meeting like we've had, like this that we've had, where we brought people together. Certainly the largest attendance we've had. So this is great. We're making progress. There's a lot of activity in town. Of the 400 acres we started with, we have about 135 active. We're having these regular outreach programs. We've done a lot of work with the state and the county. This is the third or fourth time we've had a representative, as an example, from the State Economic Development Authority to talk about incentives and what can be done. We've improved our permitting process. We've introduced new ordinances. We have an emergent sustainability program. We're looking to do things to improve the development fee structure. You know, as an example, one of the hurdles that we've had is the sewerage rates, the hookup rates. And we've done some work on rates. I don't know, John, if you want to mention what we've done there as an example.
Yeah. Bob talked about his theme, help us help you, and I think this is a good illustration of help us help you. We're very, very keen in terms of listening, understanding as to what your issues are, what potentially could be your obstacles, as well as being responsive. So we brought the issue from the Economic Development Council to the Hanover Sewage Authority, explained to them what they were doing and how that would impact economic development within the township. Subsequently, to bring that information to them, they reassessed their whole financial plan, and they were able to change that plan and spread out their plan increase over a 5-year period to significantly lower the sewage connection rate. from a potential 25% increase to something closer to 10. In addition to that, that same group has for us a reconnection credit that's also available. So it again goes under the banner of help us, help you.
Thanks, John. Okay, so before the mayor comes up, there's plenty of seats. So why don't we take a minute to let the people standing in the back there grab a seat, please? If you'd like to. Don't want to sit? Okay. Okay, so Ron, you're next.
Thanks everyone for being here on this rainy morning. We do appreciate you coming out. And I want to thank Bob Nardone, the Economic Development Group, for putting together once again a presentation of this size. They have been a fantastic group to work with, and if you haven't had an opportunity to meet them or work with them, let me tell you, they meet 2 Fridays per month, the first and third Friday of every month. It's an open meeting. You're all invited to attend. It's from 8 in the morning till approximately 9, but the chairman usually lets it go to almost 10. And but at that time, you certainly have an opportunity to address these members of the Economic Development Committee here in Hanover Township. Get your questions answered, learn more about particular properties, areas in the township, zones that you're concerned with and that would help you. I really can't tell you how excited we are about some changes in Hanover Township, and we hope you feel it too. I was just talking to Matthew earlier, and I said that my opening remarks were going to be, do you feel it? And do you feel it? It's called a pulse. And we're finally getting a pulse in here in the New Jersey area, and particularly in Morris County. And I know we've got a pulse right now here in Hanover Township. We've got exciting things happening in Hanover Township. We've got a culture change in Hanover Township that has happened over the years. And it's a very positive culture change, and it's a culture change that's happened as a result of a township committee that knows how to work together, how to cooperate, And so Deputy Mayor John Faramaska is here. I see George Capola is here. I see Bob Bruno is here. Ken Schleifer, another one of our township committeemen, could not make this particular meeting. But synergistically, we can work tightly together. We know what has to be done. Our Economic Development Committee has led the charge. Our Planning Board has been incredibly cooperative, and that's an understatement if you work with planning boards. The Planning Board has done its utmost to examine positive change here in the township. They're in the process right now of looking at what we're calling corridors. You're going to learn a little bit more about it today in a presentation that you'll see. But we're taking zones in this township that for quite some time, in our opinion, are tired. We're taking zones, you certainly know that the office building zones in this town and other towns, I think there's a sort of shocking figure about Parsippany's new vacancy rate. And I know Hanover is not much different, but we don't have as much inventory in offices as does Parsippany. But it's things like this that we have to look at, and we have to be able to adapt to change on that. And it brings up the proverbial question that I always ask too, in good zoning for any town and moving forward. What moves zoning? Is it market change, or is it good planning on the part of the planners itself? It's a double entendre there, good planning and market change. But in any event, we can't ignore market change, and we can't ignore you who come in to us on our planning board levels and committee levels and talk to us about what you can do with a piece of property and what's saleable and what's not. If we choose to ignore you, and we're not going to do that. We've got a lot of wonderful things happening here in Hanover Township. I need not tell you about some of them. You know that we're going to have one of the largest pharmaceutical entities, short of Novartis. Matter of fact, I told good Mayor Bill down there in East Hanover that he's due for a name change. I think we're going to call it Novartisville, and then it finally gets done. But shortly, we'll have one of the larger pharmaceutical firms in the area. I know they want to have their name withheld, a name that you all know and so dear to your heart, but until they're finally formalized in their proceedings there. Their permits are all in with Hanover Township, and they're moving forward. And by the way, we thank every community that was participated in that search that was a 2-year search on the part of this one particular pharmaceutical firm that involved entities in Parsippany, all over the North Jersey area, etc. It's going to be a consolidation here in Hanover. It'll bring some 2,200 to 2,400 new employees into Hanover. What it will do for our economic condition, I need not tell you from a business standpoint, and we're excited over that. There is much more happening in the township, not just on the pharmaceutical level, but you've read the newspapers that our Red Bulls Soccer Club, a wonderful brand in all regard, is coming back to Hanover. There was a time, some 5 years ago, when they were set to be going in on some properties on the eastern part of the township. They're revisiting that property. Their plans, I understand, will be before our planning board in the course of this week. And they'll be bringing in a training facility here with some 4 or 5 soccer fields. I could go on, but you're going to learn so much more from the presentations that you're going to see, most of which I'm sure is duplicated in the kits that everyone has. So I'm going to stop right here, and I'm going to turn the meeting back over to our chairman for now. So thank you very much again for visiting with us and being a part of Hanover. Appreciate it.
Good morning. My name is Dan Breen. I'm a member of the Economic Development Advisory Committee here in Hanover. And in my professional life, I work with state and local governments and economic agencies all around the country. And it may surprise you to know that New Jersey is one of the most progressive and active and aggressive of all the states in their economic development efforts. Governor Christie, Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, and their three-pronged effort towards economic development, which involves Choose New Jersey, a marketing agency headed by Tracy McDaniel, the Business Action Center, which is headed by Lieutenant Governor Guadagno, and from whom we've seen some excellent representatives in the past, and finally, the New Jersey Economic Development Authority, which really handles the nuts and bolts of business attraction and program management and program administration. NJEDA has been kind enough this morning to send a key member of their organization, Matthew Abraham, who's a Senior Business Development Officer, to talk a little bit about their programs. And I think you'll be excited to hear about not only New Jersey's new programs, but also some of the existing opportunities they offer to companies coming to and staying in the state. So, welcome, Matthew.
They say you should always leave on a high note with a pharmaceutical company coming in, and that introduction I might leave now. That being said, if I can get corny for a minute, this morning I woke up to this horrific thunder, and I thought it was my heart maybe racing because I got to speak in front of a big crowd, but that's not the case. It's the pulse. It was the pulse. And when the mayor talked about the pulse, my mind went in a whole bunch of different directions. Can you feel the pulse? Or no, can you feel it? And then all of a sudden my mind goes in different places, and then I thought about the thunder, and I was like, no, the thunder. What is the mayor talking about? And then he was talking about the pulse, the economic development, the economy kind of slowly turning around. And I live in Bergen County, and the rain just poured down buckets of water. And as I got closer to Whippany, the rain stopped. It wasn't completely clear. It wasn't sunny, and you can look out there, it's not completely sunny, but it's kind of like our economy. We went through some rough times the past couple of years. The thunder has stopped, I think. Still a little cloudy, but we're slowly getting out of it. And my job at the EDA is try to help companies, try to help developers, try to help the state of New Jersey grow economically, and that's through commercial economic growth. That's trying to attract companies into New Jersey, trying to retain and save companies in New Jersey. And everyone's pulled back a little bit, but now we're starting to see companies seeing companies consolidate and grow. We're seeing developers, and I see some of the developers that I work with here, looking forward to their developments and kickstarting their developments throughout New Jersey. And I think Hanover is a great example of that, and landing a large pharmaceutical company and getting over here. And as we get calls into the state, we look at various programs. And I don't want to bore you with all the different programs, but at any given time, the state of New Jersey has somewhere about 16 to 20 different programs that we could use. And the programs stem from loans, taxes and bond issuance, incentives on one being the BEAT, which is to attract new employment. One is the BRAG, which is to obtain employment in the state of New Jersey. We have a couple of new programs that came out on the incentive side. One is the Tax Hub program that was designed for 9 municipalities. The other was the Economic Redevelopment Growth Grant. And that's New Jersey's answer to TIF financing. It's taking incremental tax financing to help a project fill a gap. Unfortunately, in the last few years, we've seen more projects that had gaps. And that's because of what's been happening. But it's a great program. The ERG program has, and we've come up with all kinds of acronyms. So thanks EDAC for adding another acronym. The ERG program has been successful for us. The HUB program has been successful for us. The ERG program, we're able to take help a developer who has a financial gap. Up to 20% of that financial gap, we're able to use. Up to 20% of their project cost, we're able to use to put back into the project. It's by taking incremental sales taxes and reimbursing the developer. And they can use that grant over a 20-year period. So depending on how quickly they're able to generate those sales taxes, is how quickly they're able to replenish their gap. The HUB program was a great program, and it was because it was targeted for 9 municipalities. It was limited, but it was great for those urban municipalities that were able to take advantage of it. Well, the state actually then expanded on it and created Grow New Jersey. And Grow New Jersey has been very successful. We had a huge demand for it. And Grow New Jersey is, I want to say, Grow New Jersey is something of a beep and brag on steroids mixed in with the HUB program. And we're able to use this Grow New Jersey in various parts of the state. We're no longer restricted to just the 9 municipalities. We're able to use this for companies who are looking to spend $20 million in capital improvements, retain or employ 100 new employees. They get a tax credit for a 10-year period. And this has been successful as these applications are coming in, and I wish I could talk about some of the applications and brag about them, but until they're signed and closed and go through, I want to say the short closing process, but you guys know it from the state. So it does take a little bit longer. But we do have some great companies who are going to take advantage of the Grow New Jersey program. And it's not your responsibility to know these programs. It's my responsibility to know these programs. So at any time, if you're speaking to companies out there, or if you yourself are representing a company and you have questions about what can we do, or as a developer, what can we do to help fill up 400 acres? Because we have a prospect that's looking at this parcel, but the numbers don't pencil out. Maybe the company needs a low-interest loan, subordinate loan. Well, give me a call, give the state a call, the EDA. We are the bank for the state. I am the bank for the dollar. But with that, you give me a call. I'll try to fit them into one of those 16 to 20 different programs that we have. If not, what we can offer, we will, with our BAC department, we can go to all the various different organizations in the state and try to set you up with one meeting instead of having individual meetings. We try to help you as developers and companies with BDP issues, taxation. We'll try to get everyone involved so that you're not constantly going through hoops with various companies or various agencies. Instead, we have a unified front. And I commend Hanover Township for this unified front of trying to get developers, private sector, and public sector together to work for one common goal. And that's to spur up the economy, to stir up the Hanover Township and the surrounding neighborhoods. As you know, every community benefits from businesses moving in. whether it's this community benefiting from a company moving down a few miles from it, or a company moving here. All the areas will grow. I hope you can reach out to me as a tool, a resource. That's better. That might be a better word. As a resource, as a resource in trying to help solidify these relationships with various developers and companies. I thank you for your time. I am cutting it short because we have a lot of different presentations ahead of us. If you do want to know the names of all 16 to 20 different programs, please let me know. I will bore you for 3 hours easily. My name is again Matthew Abraham, Senior Business Development Officer in the North. I have cards. I'm available. I'll be here throughout the meeting. I'll be available after the meeting. If you do need my cell phone number, I think Lieutenant Governor has made this popular. She gives out her number. I'm going to give out mine. My cell phone number is 609-851-9579. I answer it no matter what time of the day or evening. At 10, I close up shop. My wife gets upset after that. Thank you very much, and I look forward to a great presentation.
Before we, does anybody have any specific questions for Matthew before we move on to the next presentation? Any questions about specific?
You want to hear about the storm story?
No? Okay, so he'll be here afterwards if you want to grab him in private and ask questions.
Hey, my name is Art Linfanti, and I think I'm supposed to be giving a presentation. I just don't know where it went. And I'm the last one that should be playing with a computer.
It went to sleep. Yeah,
and I'm the one that just plugged it in. So I don't know what's going to happen. In any event, what I wanted to talk to you a little bit about is, as far as development opportunities go, where we've been, where we want to go, and how you're going to get us there. Oh, is it? Great.
It should be. Here it goes. You're going to have to queue up your presentation.
I am? Great.
Hold
On your desktop, so just minimize it.
Rocco's doing the the technology presentation after me, so.
That's absolutely right. All right. There we go.
Let's see. Slideshow, right? And I guess I'll go from the beginning. You're going to see stuff fading in and out and zooming in and zooming out. It was my first time using PowerPoint, so I was having some fun with it. So if you guys get dizzy, I'm sorry, but I was having some fun. Economic development opportunities, helping us help you, is really the theme of what we're talking about. And when Maria Sheridan came up with that, we were kind of laughing about it, the whole Jerry Maguire thing. But it's true. As a municipal organization, we don't profess to have the answers, but whenever municipal organizations who don't have the answers try to give you the answers, it usually doesn't come out right, unless they listen to the people who are having the problems. So helping us help you is really what we're looking to do. And I think you'll see where we're going to go, at least as far as some development opportunities are concerned. Where were we? Well, when we first started EDAC and we took a look at the town, we realized we had a number of sites that were just underutilized. They were sitting fallow. They weren't getting developed. We had about 20 priority sites. They were primarily redevelopment opportunities. Hanover's not necessarily a development town. It's more of a redevelopment town. I think that's the characteristic of most northern New Jersey towns. It was about 400 acres, and it included the former Alcatel-Lucent site, the Burlex Lab site, FPI up on Hanover Road, and the River Park Business Center is about 80 acres. But obviously there was more, but those were our most prominent. Watch, see? Here you go. Now we have some new priorities going forward. We want to try to direct some of the market to corridors, areas within the municipality where we think opportunities exist. Some of the properties are available, some of them may not be. We're hoping maybe Those that are, we can get some partnerships together, we can get some assemblages together. We want to continue highlighting some of the priority sites that may not be in the corridors. Some of those corridors that you'll see on a map we'll talk about in a minute has priority sites contained within them, and some sites are not within corridors and are still priority for us. We want to create a public and private marketing effort with the business community. We want you to participate, telling us what needs to be done, what concerns you have, what things you may see happening out there to help us move some things forward. And we want to focus on some of the newer issues on the redevelopment opportunities. We also want to help work with available buildings. Now, we know the economy, we can't change the economy. We're trying, but we can't change the economy. We want to work with some of the buildings out there in town that are available and see if we can help some of the brokerage communities, some of the property owners market some of their buildings. We want to locate and encourage expansion opportunities. So if you're a company in town and you need some additional space, you want to put additions on, before you go and leave the town, we want you to come to us and tell us what it is you're looking to do, and maybe we can accommodate you here, either on your site or on another site. And we want to locate and encourage assemblage opportunities. Anyone who knows the town very well, you go up some of the highways, Hanover Avenue, Route 10, you see there's a lot of small sites, a little underutilized sites, a little tough to get them moving forward unless maybe you can assemble them with something else. So those are some of the, I guess, some redundant but new issues we're going to be focusing on going forward. Our priority corridors. What do we want to do there? We want to identify areas for growth opportunities. We want to encourage assemblage, as I said. We want redevelopment opportunities to move forward. We want to take some old buildings that are functionally obsolete, try to make them more modern and more functional. And we'd like to see maybe some new mixed use, some walkable communities where they're possible. And of course, with all of this, we want to make sure that our infrastructure can handle it. And we want to make sure that we make it, whatever developments happen in a way that allow for an efficient traffic flow. Our priority corridors. We have a map up here, and we have some aerials around the room. And if I can remember which one's which, I'll tell you. But the map that we have here is a map that shows the corridor areas. We have the Hanover Avenue area, which extends from Ridgedale Avenue out to American Way. We have the South Jefferson Road corridor that goes from Route 10 all the way down South Jefferson Road. We also have the eastern section of Route 10, which starts from Whippany Village, right around Troy Road, down to Algonquin Parkway, where suburban propane is. That's another corridor we're looking at. The western Route 10 section, you can see up here, where the D.H. Horton development is, the new ball fields, the municipal complex. There's a number of small sites in this area. Maybe we'd like to see something happen in that location. And then the last one we have is Parsippany Road, which is this small section here. It's the old downtown, and it connects Mount Pleasant Avenue with Whippany Road by the new pharmaceutical company who shall remain nameless as site. Half of the site. The other half we want to talk to you about. So those are our corridors, and if you look around the room, this aerial here shows the Hanover Avenue corridor, Ridgedale Avenue, here's Seagulls Plaza and down. This corridor here is our South Jefferson Road corridor. You can take a look at this if you like. That map right there shows the Whippany Road to the Parsippany Road corridor. That's corporate mailings, old building there. And the map that I can't see back there, what's that one back there? That Whippany Village? That's our Route 10. Okay, and the map in the back there is the western Route 10 section right around where we are right now. So you have this map here you can take a look at on a break, and some of the areas here might give you a better idea of what's going on around those areas. Available buildings. Well, just like every other town in New Jersey, we got them.
And we want to create some relationships with the brokers. We want to see what we could do to help move people in. Are we having trouble getting COs? Are we having trouble getting permits? How can we help you market Hanover to your prospective tenants, see if we can get them to come here? I believe this is probably one of the best located towns in northern New Jersey. I'm formerly an Essex County boy, so when I moved from Essex County out here, I was like, geez, I don't know if my access is going to be good, my commute's going to be a little bit longer to certain areas where I work. And when I came out here, that just wasn't the case. Got the best north, south, east, west access going, and our tax structure here in Hanover is one of the best in Morris County, one of the best in the state. I'm in the property tax business partially, and I can tell you this is probably one of the best tax rates in New Jersey. So we want to coordinate some of the marketing efforts with the property owners and the developers and the brokers to try to help people come to Hanover before they go to other neighboring communities. We think we have better assets than most towns. And again, we want to improve some of the occupancy efficiencies to the extent there are any. If there are, we need to know about it. That's got to come from you. Our industrial market, I think we're a little bit stronger in the industrial market. We do have some buildings that are available that we'd like to help market. The post office facility down South Jefferson Road, that's in one of our primary corridors. The Brookfield office complex, the former Bear Stearns, I think there's still about 500,000 square feet there available, 400,000 square feet there available. And 110 South Jefferson Road, right across the street from that, which is got some fairly heavy vacancies and has had some vacancies for a while. So again, on the available building front, we'd like to help work with the brokers and the property owners to see what we can do to facilitate some tenancies. Expansion potential. Any of you people out there, your current business owners, your brokers, you have any relationships with people in town, they're looking to expand, relocate, or do something new with their facilities. Again, before you go anywhere else, come to us. Let us see if we can help you. Let's see if we can find a solution to your expansion situation. Maybe your existing site can accommodate some. We can find a way to help you accommodate more if it's within the goals and objectives of the master plan, the goals and objectives of the town. If we can find a way to work with you to help that happen, we'll do it. We already have a situation, I think, over here with Halo. They were interested in doing some expansion. They were constrained by, I guess, some old zoning that was in place, and I think we're working with them to help them expand and stay here in town. So that's one situation that we're working on right now. If there are others, we'd like to know about them. So before your clients or you as a business owner decide you want to go somewhere else, look here first. That's what we want you to do. And again, we are going to re-examine some of our FAR requirements, which I think we did. I don't know, was that a planning board? Did we ever change that at the planning board? Has there been a change in the zone?
We're looking in general in that zone to improve the FAR.
So some of our FAR requirements are being re-examined right now to help facilitate some of those expansions. Redevelopment opportunities. We're all over the place. This is a municipality that's been built a long time ago. It was my uncle who was Whitney Paperboard. And that's a redevelopment project that's been waiting to happen for a long time. As have others, and we're starting to get some activities in some of our redevelopment projects. Again, we want to see if we can, if you can help us. We do have suggestions. In your packets, you have breakout sheets on some of our priority sites. We have the maps here for you to look at. I think this map, is it on our website yet?
No.
We're going to be putting this on the website, and I guess maybe we can even put the aerials on the website, but you'll be able to access those. These are some of the things that we found. If you know of any others, if you have any other situations that you think we should be including, let us know. We'll take a look at them, and if we can include them in our list and include them on our maps, we would certainly do that. And again, a lot of the facilities that we have in town, the smaller sites, the more, the older, functionally obsolete sites, we certainly would like to see someone come in, put some sites together, redevelop some of the sites, more modern, more convenient and marketable buildings. This entire presentation is about you guys helping us. We don't have the answers. We have suggestions, we have directions, and we certainly have some of our own goals and objectives. But we're not going to be able to meet any of them unless we get input from the market, unless our brokers tell us, look, here's what's going on, here's where we're having problems, could you help us in this direction or that direction? If our business owners tell us, look, there's certain problems I'm having getting things built, there's certain problems I'm having keeping my business here, let us know what they are and what we can do to help you move forward. We think this is a great location, we think this is a great municipality to operate your business, this is a great municipality in which to develop, as opposed to what the reputation may have been in the past. Things have changed, but we need input from you. We'd like to have an open communication, an efficient flow between the market and EDAC and the town. We also would like you to participate in our website. We'd like to talk to some of the brokers, some of the developers about maybe being involved with the website. We'd like to maybe see if we can put some links for properties that you might be marketing directly to you and directly to the properties in Hanover. The more exposure you guys get, the more exposure we get, the better off you might be. And I think it may also create the reality that we're trying to create, which is this is the first choice you want to come to. If you want to come to the Route 80, 287 hub, and you want great access north, south, east, and west, before you look anywhere, you want to look here. We want people to know that we're interested in having new companies come here, existing companies stay here, and one of the best ways we think to do that is to keep an open communication with the market. So any participation we'd like you to have participation in our websites, create links, and help us move forward. So I think all of our information we'd like to get from you. We'd like you to come to our meetings. I don't think we have, except for our own board, we don't have too many people coming to our meetings, but we'd like to see more participation in those meetings, more input from the community, and we're going to try to use our website to do that as well as our open meetings. So I think that's the end of my presentation. So if you have any questions, any answers, I'd rather have answers because I don't have any answers. Any questions, please feel free. Come to our meetings, ask questions here. We're open to hear your advice and anything else you might have to help us move forward. With that, thank you. Yeah, if you do have questions, we have the mic here. It's pointed in the wrong direction, but you can flip it around. No questions? All right, great. Thank you. Rocco's going to tell us about the website and what we're doing with that, and how you can help us. Work with that.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Since I'm the last presenter today, I really subscribe to the theory that when you're the last presenter, the way to endear yourself to the audience is to be brief. So I will try to be brief today and leave plenty of time for an open Q&A session. So I'm the newest member of the EDAC. Again, as Art said, my name is Rocco Sino, but I like to consider myself very enthusiastic about the organization, and it's just great to be surrounded with such bright people that really know the business and development and know the township and really are passionate about it. And so Chairman Bob asked me to participate in a subcommittee that's responsible for developing and improving our website. So I'm part of the committee with Rich Campbell and Maria Sheridan, both of whom can't be here today. So I will present to you today some of the improvements that we've made, because we know that in 2012, you can't market an organization unless you have a strong website. So let's see. It should pop up. Hold on here. There we go. All right. So I want to showcase for you some of the highlights and some of the improvements that we've made. This is our home page. There's also a printout in each of your folders. Now, when we formed this organization several years ago, we did have a website, but we really want to put an emphasis on it, put some money into it, and really make it a resourceful tool, or as Matthew said, a resource for each of you. So here's our website. You can see that if you go to learn more, you'll see basically our mission. Let's see now. I apologize if this is slow. I heard they had some issues yesterday with the website, so hopefully it'll cooperate. Here's our vision, our mission statement, and our strategy. Then we'll go back. Probably the real engine or the real guts of this website, or, oh, went too far. Who said I was a computer guy? The most useful part of this website is going to be our available properties. Now, like any website, it's only as good if you keep the material fresh and current. So our mission and our goal is to keep this as current as possible with not every site that's available, but ones that we identify as key, crucial properties that we're going to focus on. So here's a map of Hanover. You can see Route 287 going north and south. You can see Route 10. And you see about 14 or 15 different balloons. This is our bird's eye view of the featured properties that we want to showcase. This is going to change. We're going to add, we're going to delete as things go under contract. But these are the four. Now, there's two ways that we're going to show this material. We're going to show the bird's eye view, or if we want, we'll show it in a list format. And here's the list format of the same properties. The address, the category, the corridor, talking about arts presentation, what corridor it falls in, and the acreage. At some point, we will have a link here, so if you see a property, you hit the link, it'll take you to the bird's eye view, but that's currently under development. So let's go back to the view of the town. It is pretty slow. So have you heard the one about 2 months and a used car salesman? All right, here we go. All right, so let's just take one of these as an example. Let's find Whippany Village, since we talked about it today. So if we go to Whippany Village and we hit the balloon, we'll hit View PDF. You'll get the whole spec sheet of that property with a lot of good, useful information. Hopefully you guys have quick, faster computers in your homes or at work. So there's Whippany Village, there's the boundaries, and then if we scroll down, you'll see all the information, surrounding properties, utilities, transportation, approvals, who the contacts are, and so forth. So we think this is going to be useful information. Now, one of the objectives of today's meeting was to get feedback from everyone. And there are two ways that we really would use our website to help partner with the developers and brokers in the room. And that would be, number one, we're always looking for success stories, right? That's how you spread the word. So there's a section of our website that features success stories. And we would certainly like to invite anyone. Today would be a good time. We're going to have a session for that where we can learn from you some of the things that you've experienced in dealing with Hanover Township, planning, building, and so forth. So that's the first thing. And then the other, see, like here's some success stories. And then the other is, when we go to our available properties, we were thinking that it would be helpful to you if we entered into an arrangement where for a fee, we could actually put your name, your logo, and a hyperlink to your website on our website. So as someone sees a property and they see something that is of interest to them, and let's say it's key properties, they hit that link and it takes you to your site. And it would be within the property itself or even in the list, property list. So let's say if we go to this list again, we would add an additional column that says marketed by over to the right of area, and it would list the broker, the developer, and you could hit that link and take you to your site. And just we think it would really increase traffic to and from the sites. I mean, we're pretty pleased that we just checked some statistics. We had 3,000 page views just last month. 3,000 page views. That's pretty impressive for a small, for a community-based website. So, and we know it's going to increase as we put more energy and more resources into the site. So, unless there's something else, I think I'm just going to conclude by saying, we definitely want to partner with you. We want to help you. If this is something that would be of interest to you, marketing on our website, please talk to me after the meeting or any of the members of the EDAC. And that's one of our objectives going forward. So that's it, Bob. I'll turn it back.
Thank you very much. This is the end of the formal presentations. What we wanted to do then was just open it up to the audience. If there's people that have any Q&A, any questions rather, regarding anything they heard or any feedback, we'd love to hear it. If you don't want to do it in this setting, we're going to be here for the next half hour or so. Feel free to have some coffee or whatever, and please walk around, take a look at the sites, and get a little closer view of what we're talking about in the corridors, because I think that is unique that we've got these development opportunities here in town in such a great location. And so before we conclude, anybody with any questions of any of the speakers that we've had, anything that you've heard, or feedback or comments? Yes.
The last presentation with the map and the balloons, it might be, a suggestion might be that you might have a large, medium, and small category for acreage from 100 plus, 50 to 100, 1 to so that people looking, so
Could do it by
so that people, like I have property here, and I'd like people to get to see it, but they're not going to see it if you're only using like the large development areas.
Okay, thank you. That's good input.
Yeah, we're thinking about on the list view, where you see where it's area. When you hit the word area up here, it'll rank them largest to smallest. So you can go right in your area that you're looking for, and it'll sort them.
Right, provided that you add them to that list.
Right.
Right now, you've chosen the highest priorities, the highest acreage.
Right. So as we expand that, that's a good suggestion.
Well, I think that's a good point. I think what you're saying is your site's not on here.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think if you wanted to have your site on our priority list, I think we'd certainly be able to talk
Right,
about
but mine is not, we're not talking about major acreage, we're not talking in the 100, 400 acre. That's why I suggested that maybe the overlays are different, large, medium, and small, for people who may be looking for a smaller site, has the potential, as opposed to getting lost in that, scrolling down until you're sitting in front of it.
That's a great suggestion. We're going to take you up on that. That's very good. Any other comments or questions like that? That's the type of feedback we're trying. Yes.
I heard mention one thing about charging a fee for listing on your website. I think you have to be very careful. As a developer, you're just getting feed to death. I mean, the fees or something else. I think you just have to be careful about where you can start taking fees on something you're trying to do.
Thanks, Rudy. What's your thought in general about having that connection to the website?
I think it's a good idea to have a connection to the website. I think it's benefit. The more you have, the better you are. Charging a fee for it, I don't think it's a good idea.
Okay. Any other comments or questions regarding anything they heard, either the state incentives or about the development, the redevelopment sites, the corridors? Anything else? Yes, Rebecca.
I know you've done some great work looking at your zoning ordinance and making changes to attract different kinds of uses. Could you talk a little bit about what some of that is? I don't know if everybody here is aware.
Well, just one example, I think that is probably one of the biggest examples we've got is early on in the process with the Economic Development Committee, we learned that there was really a tremendous interest in large retail and not so much interest in office, commercial office space. With the vacancy rate in lease space of over 30% in Morris County, we started realizing that there was much more opportunity maybe for big retail. And what we did along Hanover Road is we rezoned Hanover Road that provided you had a 10-acre tract. You could come in with the large retail development. An example of the success of that is we currently have a application for ShopRite development up along Hanover Road. So these are examples. And another example is we started getting a lot of questions and concerns about some of the development fees, the upfront development fees. One of them was our tree ordinance. and it was rather punitive if you had a development tract that was highly wooded. And we just recently modified that ordinance to make it much more economically feasible if you have a wooded site that needed to be developed. And I don't know, Stan, you had some statistics on one of the sites, but it could be several $100,000 in savings on a large wooded tract.
It was multiple hundreds. A 10-acre wooded site was perhaps $500,000 of tree removal fees that the developer had to pay. And in the good days, that was perhaps worthy because he could justify it. The ordinance was revised to a point where that 10-acre wooded tract might be as little as $40,000 of tree removal fees. So it's a 90% reduction in tree removal fees to raw development. That's one example of an attempt to keep the pro forma, the penciling out of a deal, to be more realistic.
And I think the other area, and I think that applies as we start looking at some of these development zones, is, you know, what's very trendy right now, of course, is mixed-use development. And we did a lot of work on developing the zoning for the Whitney Village site, which is mixed use for retail and residential and commercial use. So those are just some examples, and I think what's been key is, as we've gotten feedback from the community, we've tried to take that into account and build that into our master planning around town. And we've been very flexible. The planning board has been extremely flexible in taking in those
a challenge that I've had in the township with when I represent tenants, and I don't know if you still have the ordinance, but if you have a building with a monument sign out front, I think the township had an ordinance that said you can only have one company name on it. And if you have a larger building with several tenants in it, and say it's two major tenants, then who gets to put their name on the building? And if you can't put signage is very, very critical to businesses. They can't get signage, or they can't promote that they're there. Maybe they're going to look at percentage. So I don't know if you still have that ordinance, but I've run into that in past deals I've done in the past years.
We have our planning consultant here, and
I mean,
we spend hours on
three names on a monument up front. I mean, I can't imagine how that would work.
I'm also on the planning board,
Okay.
and I won't tell you how many hours we spend debating over the proper level of signage on a site, it's the right size and whatnot. We've tried to open that up, and I agree with you that I think that's something that we need to be considering. We want to have that on our list of things that we should be addressing when we do master plan.
I'm representing a tenant in a market like that, and that's a key thing for them. If they can put signage on the building, that's really going to, get them interested. I mean, they're not in this submarket, but, it's something that's very sensitive to businesses.
Thank you for that input. That's good input. Thank you. Anything else like that? This is the type of thing we're trying to get to.
So a separate topic, I was wondering if any of the speakers could talk to some of the different types of industrial development opportunities that would be here. You have a great asset here in the Morristown Erie Railway goes through the center of this municipality, and you do have some older sites that are, I would think, are prime for rail-oriented industrial development. But in a suburban context like this, there's always development pressure, market pressure for different types of use. Have you had any feedback or interest in specifically that Eaton Mills site along the south side of the railroad?
From a heavy industry standpoint?
More of a heavy industry or distribution type of...
None that I'm aware of. It just, in the suburban environment, we don't tend to get those requests.
That site's currently holding an approval for flex of 150,000 square feet of flex building. Now that approval has been extended and that's in place. But that has rail connection, and that same rail connection, by the way, will be going behind several other companies along that line, with one of the large food distribution firms that will be making use of rail connection. So yes, it's a viable. The reason I mention is my company, I'm not here for a commercial, but my company had done a freight land use study for Morris County that we just wrapped up last year in 2011. And that's one of the prime sites that we had identified in all of the county. They were based on a whole wide array of factors. But one of the statements that I had made to the Board of Freeholders at our final presentation is that I would stress to municipal officials, economic development folks, to the extent possible, if you have industrial zone real estate alongside these rights of way, do not change this to a shopping center or a mixed-use site. Preserving these industrial uses, it makes it easier for other
customers along these lines to enjoy economies of scale, where the railroad moves more cars and therefore reduces costs for shippers. Every time you lose an industrial site like that, it makes it that much more difficult for the remaining industrial sites on the line to stay viable.
It's true, yeah, that's great. Thank you for that insight. Anything else like that?
I'm a commercial broker in the area. I know that formerly the CO process has been a very arduous and very difficult process to get CO pursued. I'm just wondering if you guys are looking to streamline that process.
I'm going to defer to Sean over here. Sean, we've done some things.
Provided a checklist to help you expedite the CO process.
Once again, invite you to have a cup of coffee, mingle, turn around, ask questions. If you've got anybody here you want to talk to. Thank you very much.